Hi, everyone. Welcome to day 4, episode 4 of The Power of Using Your Voice and Being Seen. I'm here today with another beautiful cohort of authors of the upcoming book launching on January 21st. Lineage Speaks. Welcome, ladies. I'm so excited that you're all here and just really looking forward to everything that's happening. We have such a energy towards this launch, and it's been so fun to talk this entire week with all of the authors about this topic in particular, because I think as women and even beyond that, just as people who are putting themselves out there in more of the public eye, there's a lot that comes up when we are asking ourselves, what does it really mean to use my voice? So I'm excited to have some dialogue and discussion around that today. If you're here live, please let us know. Say hi in the comments. You can answer some of the questions. You can ask questions. We can make this really fun today. So let's just start by doing some simple introductions. We'll start with you, Melissa. If you could introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you wrote about in the upcoming book, Lineage Speaks.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Melissa Lambour, and I'm a Reiki Astro Geo guide. And what I do is help people find their place in the world with locational astrology. And what I wrote about in my book is actually a continuation of what I wrote in Legacy Speak. So I was talking about my spiritual journey, really going into astrogeography in Legacy Speaks. And this one actually dives deep into my almost my chosen ancestry, my connection to Southeast Asia, and how astrogeography allowed me to understand that connection. So thanks.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. Brandy, would you be able to introduce yourself? Tell us what you wrote about too.
Hey everyone, I'm Brandy Knight, and I am the founder of Inner Calling LLC, where I offer my clients an opportunity to dive into responsible emotional release work, deep accountability, and I also weave in a lot of Kundalini yoga technology and mantra technology. And my experience and my contribution to Lineage Speaks just feels so much more about me, where in Legacy Speaks it was kind of like, okay, this was my journey, and then I was able to kind of weave in a little bit of a larger piece of my mission on planet Earth, which looks like giving a voice for those who don't necessarily have a voice. And I tap into uh, my relationship with my late teacher, a teacher who's still potentially here. We all know she's here, Guru Jagat. It's a little piece to honor her, and also a larger piece where I go into the relationship between your throat chakra and your sacral chakra, genital mutilation, maybe a little bit of a dip of the toe of cultural and religious abuse. So that's what I'm bringing to the table this round, and it's been quite transformative for me as the person who wrote this particular piece.
Yeah. Yeah. This book is not surface level. I'll just, obviously you probably realize that if you've been listening to this for a whole week, this is not surface level stuff. This goes deep, and this beautifully ties into Mardalena's work. So please introduce yourself.
Hello, yes, hello. Good to be here. My name is Mardalena and I'm a master massage therapist. I've been practicing for almost 24 years now, and I work with energetic healing as well as the Western techniques. So I like to help people find the connection between their mind and body, and work with the neuromuscular connection with trauma held in our tissues to help people maybe help work with some emotional trauma that's trapped in our muscles, and get to know their bodies better and enjoy walking around the earth in these meat sacks that we have.
Yes, yes, yes. And I loved that you called your chapter, I think it was The Body Remembers.
The body remembers. Yes,
The body
ma'am.
remembers. The body remembers. So what a beautiful ode to that. And you taught us a lot within your chapter as well. So thank you for being, a teacher in your own regard. So something that comes up a lot when we are writing these books and sharing our story, whether it's written or spoken, even like this right here, is this piece of vulnerability. I'm about to be seen. I feel naked. What are people going to think? What if I've never been seen in this way, right? If you've, presented yourself to people in your family or people in your community as such for so long, there's this, death of self and then rebirth into something new. So I'd love to just talk about this topic of vulnerability. And we really talk about community in this space. We have the support of one another. So what has it felt like to be vulnerable during, this process, but also be held by the community? What has that felt like? Melissa, let's start with you.
Yeah, it's been a beautiful experience. My first multi-author book being Legacy Speaks, and then this one, Lineage Speaks. I feel like with every book, the community just starts. Yeah, it's like we can definitely lean into each other. We've been doing so many IG lives together, and yeah, the first book I felt really raw and naked, and it was tough to come out of my shell after that because my family was reading my chapter, and it was a really vulnerable share. And this time around, it's almost like, all right, I've gone through that, and this is who I am, and take it or leave it, really. So it's been a beautiful evolution, and I feel with these multi-author books, it's just gonna, yeah, it's just so healing. So thank you for allowing this space of healing.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I even realized for myself, in the publishing world, I'm here for the group. I'm not meant to work with just the author who wants to produce their own book. Like, I'm here to bring the community together. So, yeah, thank you all for being part of these incredible just communities. I'm so, so grateful. Brandy, what are your thoughts on this?
On one hand, I'm really comfortable with being vulnerable. I've done so much work, emotional release work, and I've really, just show up every day. And where I notice that I could still use some strengthening is around these moments of prophetic downloads and feeling strong in the information I'm receiving. And a lot of the humans that are coming to the table with these projects, I've noticed are working in the ethers, are receiving these prophetic downloads. And so that's an area that I've dimmed down my entire life. And so that's where I've noticed that, like, that's like, oh, I'm naked. Like, yeah, not only have I researched this, but I'm also, coming to the table with my own downloads. And I think we're in a period of time where it's just so important for those of us that are receiving this information in this way to be more vocal, because at one point in history, psychic mediums were written about in Holy Scripture. And nowadays it's a little bit or a lot less taken seriously. And so that's where I've noticed is kind of like, oh, okay, like, yeah, here it is. And as far as community goes, I mean, I was addicted to loneliness, where I was creating isolation subconsciously for so long that it's like, I don't have any more excuses. That's super old behavior. And so this has really given me an opportunity. It's like, girl, your community's right there. And I go, oh yeah, okay, that's old. Here I am.
That's an interesting topic that we probably won't have time for today, but almost this subconscious, like, craving being by ourselves and these, habitual patterns. Very interesting. All right, Mardalena, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I as a therapist, I work in a small room with one person at a time. So and it's very intimate. So this vast knowledge that I've accumulated, and I share, and I see these, openings happening with people. Like, I really am excited to open that up and, play with sharing it with bigger groups of people. Because it's, I think I heard you say this in an interview with Brandy, but, we all have our gifts, and you tend to think because it's so easy for me, maybe it's so easy for everyone else. And while we can all tap into these things, I've spent quite a lot of time mastering it. So it's like, yeah, of course I can share this with people, you know what I mean? And have enrich their lives, you know, their everyday experience with their bodies. As far as the community, it has been amazing for me. I don't know why caused, but I have been surrounded by penises my whole life. I have all brothers. I have all boys as my children. Um, I live with my husband, his adult brother, our chosen brother, and our 5 boys. So being able to connect with women and to connect with that part of myself too, you know, has been really, really enriching and eye-opening. And, you know, like, yeah, I look forward to deepening that and growing with this for sure.
Wow, that's so beautiful.
Thank you,
So
ladies.
used to being around the women.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah, beautiful reflections, which, this kind of brings me into this aspect of, we're all, like, birthing something here, and I always see birth and creativity as very much intertwined, right? We're creating something, we're birthing something. So I'd love to hear about how using your voice allows you to tap into this creativity that maybe you didn't even realize was there, or maybe you have teachings on. How has using your voice helped you tap into your creative energy? Melissa?
Yeah, well, for me, it's been quite interesting because I've feared my voice for so long. Having gone through an engineering career and gone through engineering school, doing these presentations, I used to run off like after doing my presentations and just cry. So I feared my voice. I feared what would come out of my mouth. And now that I'm more aligned with what I'm doing, like my gifts, I feel like whatever's coming out of my mouth, it's divine. Like it's meant to, it's meant to be. So yeah, connecting back to my voice, remembering that I can trust it has been an amazing journey. And Bridget has seen my journey, right? Where I would show up and I would just be crying. I'm like, oh my gosh. And it'd be hard for me to speak. But now I just speak through the tears and work through it because I know whatever's flowing through is meant to be. So yeah, that's the power of voice and sharing my story, written, vocally, whichever way. So
Mm. Ooh, yeah, it's been beautiful to not only witness you, Melissa, but really everyone throughout this book and all the other communal projects that we've done in the past really start to step into this. And there's this change, this shift within that starts to happen. You start to become a deeper embodiment, I think, of your own teachings, of your own wisdom, of your own knowledge, deeper connection to self and others. So it's really a blessing. I've never actually talked about this. It's really a blessing for me to watch and witness that evolution, which again was not didn't expect that to happen, but here we are. Brandy, what about you? I know you have a lot of thoughts on this topic.
Girl, I got the I got the thoughts. So I'll start by saying that, as something new or a reminder for anyone who's watching this, everything is sound. A vibrational sound frequency with its own sound code that looks like a constellation or like a keypad, a code on the keypad of your phone. So when you're using your voice, you're actually, or your sound, you're actually tapping in a particular code on the roof of your mouth by activating certain meridian points. There is also a teaching that your sex center and your sound center, or your sacral chakra and your throat kind of mouth area chakra, are greatly related. So even when someone maybe has like a eating disorder and it turns out that they might have an imbalance in their actual sexual organs or in their sacral chakra, or vice versa, if there is something happening in the sacral chakra or the sex organs, it can be greatly affected by how they're nourishing their body, what's going on, or words that they might need to speak. So in regards to my creativity, Using my voice and expressing myself generates like a reserve of energy, where if point A was me kind of getting in the car with an idea, and point B was the manifestation of what I wanted to create, the sound and my expression is what fuels the car that gets me from point A to point B. So using my voice has, not only in my work, but the work that I'm seeing in everybody else here, the manifestation is like lightning speed in comparison to like, or like, whole stifling any type of expression. So yeah.
Love it. Yep. Love it. Nuggets of wisdom. Thank you. Oh, bless you, Mardalena. Would you like to share? Wait, you're muted.
There we go. It was completely tied to what I was going to say, because I just came out, well, not just, but I came out of a 14-year, abusive relationship. And I wasn't using my voice at all, so that's really just as like, yep, that's what was going on. You know what I mean? And now I'm out and I've been doing work, and I feel like I'm coming back home to myself, the person who I was before I sort of allowed that to happen and went through that experience. So I'm learning to use my voice again, and, freeing up all of that energy. And it's amazing, but you got to do it. You got to show up. You got to do it. I thought about it. I watched Brandy go through her journey with Lineage Speaks, and I'm always like, this is something I'm going to do. This is something I know I'm meant to do someday, when this or that falls into place. And the reality is it falls into place when you show up, when you do it, and then it happens. And so, so the more I use my voice, the stronger it becomes.
Yeah. Thank you for that reminder too. Like when we're talking about using our voice here, this isn't just as a published author. Like this is human experience, using your voice, of speaking up for who you truly are, and for saying no to things, for saying yes to the things that do serve you, and being okay to stand in that power. I'm literally feeling like we have to stand a little bit taller sometimes when we use our voice, because it takes courage, it takes bravery, it takes maybe a part of ourselves that we've never even tapped into before. So we're like, what is going on? But so much can happen when we do enter that space. So yeah, thank you for that reminder, and beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Something we talked about yesterday, which I just love, is this idea of the ripple effect through what we're doing with our work. So each one of us has these modalities that we use to serve others. We're typically here helping others in some way, shape, or form with our actual work, and then with what we're writing about. So I'd love to just hear from each of you, what really do you feel like is your ripple effect in the world? What does you standing in your power and you doing your work and you writing this chapter, what impact does that have on humanity and others? Melissa?
Yeah. So I work with astrogeography, and I do intertwine Reiki and Ayurveda, because I do believe in balancing the inner world and the outer world. So you have that harmony energetically. Since with astrogeography, you're working with the planetary energies, and with Reiki, you're working with the internal chakras. And then Ayurveda is almost like that in between the environment and yourself. So it's been beautiful to work with my clients and kind of guide them along, and the stories that come to the surface, especially the travel stories. And now the ripple effect is that those stories allowed me to see, like, wow, I could start a podcast because these stories need to be shared. And yeah, I'm releasing a podcast the 31st of January, which I'm so excited, and it's so fitting that using our voice, I'm just continuing on with that, and it just felt so organic, because there was so much magic in my one-on-ones, guiding people to where they're meant to be. And with this chapter, it almost breaks open the reason why I keep going back to astrogeography to guide people to either where they're meant to be or where they're meant to start, that next nonprofit, or where to start that next retreat. So I'm just really excited to continue doing my work for conscious travel, and for it to be ethical and sustainable as well.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. And I also love how you can weave together your background in engineering into all the stuff that you're doing. So thank you for being
Yes.
all of you. Brandy, what about you?
For a long time, I thought it was emotional release work, and it is. However, it's shifted into accountability and unapologetic living, where the emotional release work is an organic part of that, where you have to have a, a healthy relationship with emotional release and what's going on in order for you to even grasp what accountability is, or grasp what unapologetic living is. So I've embodied that for a very long time, and it's only now that I feel like I haven't really I have it dialed, like I have it pretty dialed in regards to I don't apologize any longer, and I don't require other people to apologize to me, including clients. I don't apologize to my clients, and I don't expect them to apologize to me. And that's a really wild aspect that a lot of people don't really think about when we think of unapologetic living. Most of the time it's like naked horseback, whatever, like I'm here, bitches, And it's like, well, what happens when, like, number one, you piss people off or they piss you off? So what I bring to the table now, along with the support, which I think is a non-negotiable aspect, which is Kundalini yoga and the mantra technology, is how to understand in any capacity the cosmic agreement, the soul contract in which you came together in order to learn and grow. Kind of period, the end, right? Like, that person's in your life to piss you off or to do whatever, so you can get clear on something, so you can take the next step to fulfill your mission. So that's what I'm really coming to the table with now. And the other thing is, and Bridget and I were just talking about it, it's like I'm at a place now, and I would love to encourage anybody to be in this place of, like, you get a download, you do it. You get a download and you do it. And if it sticks, cool. And if it doesn't, cool, it doesn't matter, right? But you just do the thing. And so I'm in a new space. This is new for me, to just have follow through with all of my downloads. And I don't do human design professionally, but I'm a huge fan of it. So kind of like, as on the client side, understanding my human design and being in receiving mode has been a huge, again, another non-negotiable for me.
So beautifully put, all of it. Thank you. Thank you. Mardalena?
Well, first off, I want to say I'm personally a client of Brandy's, and working with her has changed my life. Her work is amazing. Anyone who this is speaking to, please reach out to her, because it's just invaluable. So I just want to say that. Love you. Also, so to what you were saying, when I hear other people's stories, it brings me a greater understanding of who I am. And I get tingles thinking about, somebody reading my story that I will never, ever know. And that bringing them a greater understanding of who they are and their walk on this life, all of our stories, reading all of your stories. It's like, wow, that every time I talk about it, I get tingles. It makes me cry. So yeah, it's amazing. Sharing stories using your voice. It's like, oh my gosh. And everyone has a story to tell. Every single person. So
Thanks for bringing up that perspective. I did a Facebook Live the other day on these, like, two archetypes, right? The storyteller and the story receiver, the one who's reading it. And both are so powerful because the teller gets to reflect on their experience, share with someone else, go through the catharsis of reflecting and saying, what did this teach me? Who am I because of that? The one who's receiving then gets to go, wow, they're showing me what's possible through them going through that experience. Like it's such a full circle, beautiful concept that I actually never really thought about before. It was like, oh, it's great to read a book and be like, wow, this is amazing. It's great to write. But there's something, cyclic that's going on there, and just so, so beautiful. So thank you for that little reminder. So last question for today, and really just more of an invitation, is what would you say to someone who is scared to use their voice right now? They're scared to speak up. They're scared to be seen. Just give us like a moment to think about that one. Whenever you're ready, Melissa, you can share.
Yeah, I would say to just show up as messy as it comes out, because I remember starting Bridget's like Rock the Mic, like 7-day challenge. And I think I lost like 5 pounds after that because I was so scared. I was like creating a little script for each day. And I was like, I have to show up today. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I had someone reach out to me a year later and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm at the same place that you were at a year ago. And that meant so much to me because I thought I was a complete mess back then, right? So yeah, just show up. Just show up.
Brandy?
Well, I'm a bit of a stickler. And the throat chakra in the mouth is unique to a human existence. We don't have time to waste. Okay? You're here because you're fucking important. Now, that being said, hand on the heart, hand on the chest, and just inhale. And then just give a okay, and just notice the hand's experience. Doesn't really, you're here, you're at the heart. Okay, one more. And then the next exhale out of the mouth, give a little sound. Doesn't have to be loud. And feel the difference in the hand's experience. Maybe one more. And that can be a beautiful first tool to getting to know your sound vibration, getting comfortable with your sound vibration and using your voice. So that would be my feather tickle approach. The stickler approach is like, do it now. And you're so loved.
Oh, we need a little bit of both though, right? Like we need the love, but the fire under your ass. Like, come on. I appreciate that. Oh, that's beautiful. Mardalena, what are your words of wisdom?
Yeah, just keep doing it. Never give up. I'm baby steps kind of person, but the baby steps add up. Like if you're showing up and doing them every day, like they add up. So yeah, just keep doing it. Practice, practice, say it in your car, sing in your shower, yeah, and feel what it feels like. Feel what it feels like. And the power of that. Feel your energy rising, like you can feel it. And never give up.
Never give up. There's been so many days where I would be in my car recording myself, being like, I am going to be a millionaire. And like saying this so I can finally believe it, and then listening to myself say it, because a lot of us are scared of our own sound. We actually fear it and we push it away. We say we don't like how it sounds. Our sound is the most important sound to ourselves. It's really the one that can talk to us. So I love that. I love that. This has been so amazing. I just love the conversations that have been had during this 4-day series, which I think I have to like extend into something longer, because this is just a blast to hear everyone's perspectives, because we're all different. We all have different experiences, different backgrounds, and it's so important to hear everyone's individual story, because we literally all have a story to share. So these are just a couple of the authors of Lineage Speaks, which is coming to Amazon for purchase on January 21st, just next Friday. And we're so excited. We've had such an incredible time in this process, in this journey of writing, getting to know one another, reflecting on our stories, making a video promo trailer together, which is just so fun, and all of the incredible things that we've gotten to experience together. So we would just love your support on our launch day next Friday. You'll be able to purchase the ebook for 99 cents as well as the paperback, and all of the proceeds are going to LMU Girls, which is an incredible nonprofit founded by Cindy Rodriguez, who we got the chance to talk to on Wednesday. And what they're doing could not be more perfect and in alignment with the stories that are being shared in Lineage Speaks, because these women are young, 14 to 18 years old in Kenya, escaping child poverty, child marriage, genital mutilation. And this is an organization that's giving them an opportunity, a voice and a choice is I think what Cindy said, which is so perfect, to help them start a business, give them the tools they need, start a bank account. So we're just feeling really inspired by what this project is doing, the ripple effect of the project. And yeah, just big thank you to everyone. Thank you to the three of you for being here and using your voices. I'm so grateful for every single one of you. I can't wait to squeeze you all in person one day. Melissa is in New Jersey, so she does get that lucky ability to do that. But just thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who supports this. Share this with a friend, tell them that this book's coming out, grab a copy, and go check out everything that these women are doing. I'm going to tag them in the video afterwards. And yeah, thank you so much. Have a beautiful weekend.